Hello and welcome to your English 101 online library orientation. My name is Elizabeth Cook and I am the instructional design librarian. I am so happy to walk you through this today. So let's go ahead and get started. We are here on the library website where we can do all sorts of fun and fascinating things, including find out when there are people here in the library, which is Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and on Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. But we understand that just because we're in the library doesn't mean that you are, but it also doesn't mean that you don't need help from a librarian. So the good news is there's lots of ways to get a hold of us. Over here on our Contact Us tab, you can see that you can call us, you can email us, you can text us, you can open up a live chat with us if you have a question. You can connect with us via Facebook or Instagram. And I say that not only so you will follow us because we're super cool, but also because we have had students reach out to us via these platforms and we will answer you. If that is the way you're most comfortable, please go ahead and reach out there and we will meet you there. So the good news is that 99% of what we're going to talk about today you can accomplish from home. You don't need to be in the library. All you're going to need is a My Library account. So if you don't have one of those set up, it's really easy to do so. On our homepage here under Students, we're going to click My Library Account. Lots of instructions here. You don't have to worry about it. What we're going to do is click Sign In. And it's going to give us a page that looks like this. Now when you're trying to access resources and databases at home, this is what you'll see. We do make our students sign in to the Citrus College databases because they're proprietary to our students. So what you're going to do now is create an account. We're going to click Set Reset Password. Put in your Wingspan ID. For most of you that's probably an A number. Some of you might have a CC number. Click Request New Password. And this will prompt the system to send an email to your Citrus account. So you'll go to your Citrus account, click the link in the email, create a new password, and everything will be fabulous. Okay, so now that you have your My Library account, let's talk about all of the cool things that you can do with your My Library account, like research. You're all here because you have a research paper to write, correct? And your instructor wants you to use library resources. Now you may be wondering, why? Why does my instructor want me to use library resources? Google works just as well. And look, I love Google. Google is great for some things, but one of the things that we have to take into account when we're doing research is not only the quantity of sources that we get, it's the quality of sources that we get. And we want you to use library databases because they provide a better quality of source than Google does, right? There's lots of different ways we can evaluate sources. And one thing we really like to tell students is to ask themselves, after they read any article or look at any source, ask yourself, is it crap? Right? You're going to want to look at the article for currency, relevance, accuracy, authority, and purpose. And the good thing about Google is, of course, that you have access to all of the information in the world, all of the history of mankind's knowledge. The bad thing is that you have all of mankind's knowledge at your fingertips, including the stuff that is, wait for it, crap. So you're going to want to evaluate your sources. The reason we encourage our students to use library databases is because those results have already gone through what we call a cursory crap test. So you're going to find decent information in the library databases. You're not going to find anything crazy like our friend Batchild right here. Now, does that mean you shouldn't use your critical thinking skills? It absolutely does not mean that. You should always use your critical thinking skills about everything. You should always ask yourself, is it crap? Even if you find it in the library databases. The good news is that you are, more likely to find better sources there. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to use them. So if I go back here to my library homepage, and I click on the link for databases, you can see that Citrus subscribes to 49 different databases. All of them are unique. They all cover different things, so you can look through here and see which ones are going to work for you. We're going to talk about 4 specific databases in this video that I think are going to help you with this assignment. So the first one I want to take a look at is the Gale Virtual Reference Library, GVRL. It's right here under our popular databases. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And what GVRL is a collection of encyclopedias. So this is a really good place to start for general information about your topic. So what I'm going to do is start out casting a really broad net. I'm going to type in keyword therapy. See what I have available to me. So it gives me 5,613 results, which is a lot, right? It's more than you need. You don't have time to read through 5,000 results, and nobody expects you to. So there are a couple of ways I can go through and sort of look at this quickly to decide if it's going to help for my project. I can look and see where the article is from, right? It's going to tell me what encyclopedia it comes out of. So the Encyclopedia of Mental Health, that might be helpful for me. The Encyclopedia of Nursing and Allied Health, that might also be helpful. Aversion therapy, mental health, I'm sorry, Encyclopedia of Mental Health, Encyclopedia of Mental Health. Okay, so these look like they're going to be pretty helpful. A lot of mental health encyclopedias. I have some genetic disorders that might not be as helpful. Alternative medicine might not be too helpful. So I'm going to stick with encyclopedias that look like they're going to help me. Then I'm going to take a look at the topic overview, and it's going to tell me what the article is about. So this one is about CBT. Cognitive behavioral therapy. If that is something that you are talking about in your paper, great. Take a look at that article. If it's not, don't worry about it. You have plenty of information available to you. You're not going to hurt for information. The hard thing is going to be narrowing down what we have. But let's say that I think that cognitive behavioral therapy is going to be helpful for me. I'm going to go ahead and click on this article here. It's going to give me lots of good information, including, who wrote the article, where it was published. This is good stuff. It's broken down here by section, and it's going to highlight my keywords as well. So I can scroll through here and take a look at the article, see if it's something that's going to be helpful for me. If I think it is going to be helpful for me, I'm going to want to get it to myself. And that's really important. You don't want to go into research and think that you can repeat the same pattern to find the same articles. It's not fair to you, right? You don't want to have to remember, okay, I went to Gale Virtual Reference Library and then I clicked this and it was the 4th result down. That's adding extra work that you don't need to do. So the database gives you this lovely little sidebar here, and it allows you to print the article, email it to yourself, you can download it, you can send it to your OneDrive or your Google Drive, you can even highlight and take notes in it, right? So if I really like this first little section here, I can highlight it, I can pick a color, and then I can add like use this. So that way when I go to either email or print the article, it will save my highlights and my notes. So I just clicked print here. And when I load my preview, it has saved my highlight. And when I go down to the bottom of the article here, it tells me, oh yeah, you liked this because you wanted this note. So that's really, really helpful. It's a really helpful thing to have in the database. So if you find an article that looks good for you, get it to yourself. Even if you don't wind up using it, that's the worst thing that happens, is you don't wind up using it. You throw it away or you delete it from your email. It's always better to have more sources than you think you need, because you don't want to sit down to write your paper and realize that one of your sources isn't going to work, and now you have to stop what you're doing and go back and start the research process again. It's not fun, it's not worth it. Think of it like your spare tire. I bet you don't ever really think about your spare tire, but you're super grateful to have the spare tire when you get, a flat on the freeway. So I hope you never need it, but just in case, it's a really good thing to have. Now, of course, if I am going to use this article, I have to cite it, right? We cite things for a lot of different reasons. We give credit when we use other people's words. We don't want to plagiarize because plagiarizing is bad, and you'll probably, fail the assignment at the very least, if not the class. And we want to make sure that we are continuing the scholarly conversation that we are now a part of. So in English 101, you are using MLA citation style. And I know that can be a little overwhelming sometimes for students. They say, I can write the paper, I can do the research. It's the citation thing that really gets me. Well, I will show you some stuff at the end of class, some online resources that we have to make your life easier on that. But please know that all of our databases include a citation tool up here at the top. So when I click on that, it gives me an MLA8 citation. Now, you want to trust but verify. You want to check to make sure that this is actually correct, right? It's a really good foundation, good information, but you want to make sure that everything is right because it's just a computer. It only knows what we tell it. So if somebody puts in something that's incorrect, the computer's not checking it. It's taking us at our word. So trust but verify. Okay, and that is Gale Virtual Reference Library, our helpful encyclopedia database. The next database we're going to take a look at is under the letter M. M like Megan, M like Mary, and M like Moss Ultra. So that's the second one right here. And go ahead and click on that one. This is a really helpful database because it includes lots of magazines and newspapers, which is really, really good when you're looking at something topical. So what we're going to do now is simply, again, we're going to take a really broad topic. I'm going to put it into my search bar and see what I can do here. So I'm going to search habit formation. Okay, so it starts out giving me 38 articles, which is pretty good. I don't really have time to read through 38 articles, but it's better than 5,000. But there are some ways that I can take this down and make it, more relevant to what I'm doing. You'll notice down on the Limit To section, we are currently looking from 1991 until 2019. When you are looking for something contemporary, when you're looking for something topical, you really want to keep your search results within about 5 or 10 years because things change over time, right? I'm guessing we don't look at habits the same way today as we did in 1991. So what I'm going to do is take my little slidey guy here, very technical term. I'm going to pull it over. I'm going to give myself 10 years. So 2009. Okay, so that took me down to 31, which didn't take it down a lot, but it still took it down a few, so that's better than nothing. So now what I can do is do a really quick crap test again, just looking at these sources without having to click on them, right? So just looking at this, I can see, okay, that's the title of the story. This is when it was written, February 2019, so I know it's really contemporary. I can take a look here at the subjects. This is what the author says the article is about. Health behavior, self-control, habit formation, emotions. If these subjects look like they tie into what you're talking about, go ahead and click on the article. If they don't worry about it, right? We also have this little piece of paper and the magnifying glass right over here. So when I click on that or hover my mouse over it, it's once again going to give me my author, my source, my date, my subjects, and it's going to give me an abstract of the article, which is a summary. So this is going to be really helpful for me as well in deciding whether or not I want to take a look at the article. If the abstract looks good, I can go for it, and if not, I don't need to. So let's see, scroll down here, take a look. All right, let's say that I am interested in this. How much binge watching is too much? This looks like something that's going to work for me. So if I want to see the article, I'm going to click here on PDF full text. And it will pull up the article just like I have it in front of me. Very, very nice. Okay, only one page on this one. So you'll notice over here on the side I have a menu similar to the one that I had in my last database. It's not spelled out as clearly, but all the options are still here. I can print it. send it to Google Drive, I can email it to myself. If I want to create an account, I can save it in a folder. And this little yellow piece of paper here, that's going to be my citation button. So if I click on that, scroll down, there's my MLA8 citation. And again, we are always going to trust but verify. So that is Moss Ultra, our magazine database. We're going to go back to our database list again, and we are going to click Clear Filters. So I've got my 49 again. Now we're going to click on the letter O. O is for opposing viewpoints in context. So opposing viewpoints in context is a really terrific database for contemporary issues and controversial issues, right? I can see right here on the home page it's greeting me with, stuff about the juvenile justice system, NASA, hunting. I can see my breakdown here, all sorts of stuff like that. So if you are looking for something controversial or something that's in the news a lot, this is a great place to look. There's a couple of different ways we can search this database. You can put in your keywords up here, or you can click the Browse Issues list and see how many different topics we have available. This is all the topics available here in our database. So I can scroll through here and see if anything ties into what I'm looking for. So I'm going to look for therapy again. So I'm going to go down to scroll down in this database, and I'm going to go to mental health. That seems like a good area that I could potentially find results about therapy in, right? So I click on that. It starts out by giving me an overview of the topic. Here is what mental health is, and it tells me what I'm going to be able to find on this page. So I have academic journals, which are different than popular sources, right? Academic journals tend to be longer. They're very well researched. They're written for a very specific audience. I have viewpoints available to me as well. And this is one of the things that this database does very, very well, is that it presents you with, wait for it, opposing viewpoints, right? So points and counterpoints. And this is so important because everybody, myself included, we all have a confirmation bias, right? We like to find information that that confirms what we think we already know. But in order to be responsible researchers and responsible writers, we need to see both sides of the equation, right? You need to see both sides of the story and then make your own decision about what is correct. So this database does a really, really good job of laying out points so you can see both sides. I also have references, I have images, videos, and audio, both of which can count as sources as well. Then I see that I have 41,000 newspaper articles, 410 magazine articles. Great, I have a lot of information, right? But it's a little bit too much information. I don't want to go through all these articles to see what's going to help me. What I can do is search within these articles. So I have search within results bar down here, and I'm curious for results about therapy. That's what I want to know. So I'm going to type in therapy and see what I got here. So I have 2 featured viewpoints here. Then I can see on the other side I have 300 academic journal articles, 36 viewpoints, 25 reference articles. Let's say I want to take a look at academic journal articles. What do I have here? Okay, 302. That's a lot, right? But I can take a look just at the titles and say, well, maybe I want these, maybe I don't. Okay, do I want to look at that? Do I want to look at that? I can see where it was published. I can see when it was published. These 2 definitely meet my time limit. So let's go ahead and click on this. And I bet this looks kind of familiar, right? Well, you can see up here at the top that Opposing Viewpoints is owned by Gale. There are only 3 or 4 major database vendors. So the good news is that they all kind of work the same, right? If they're owned by the same vendor, they work the same. Different content, same lovely sidebar here that you've come to know and love. So here's your full article. It's highlighting your keywords here and all of that good stuff here on the side. Let's take a look at videos and opposing viewpoints as well. So if you did want to cite a video, let's say if I wanted to just take a look at this one, it's going to give me the video here.
Psychological disorder. A brilliant hysteric?
It's going to give me the video here, and it's also going to give me the text of the video so I can quote it. And of course, I also have my citation tool available to me because we have to cite everything. If you did not create it, you have to cite it. I have students ask me that often. Do I have to cite videos? Yes. Do I have to cite audio files? Do I have to cite song lyrics? Yes. Twitter? Yes. The Bible? Yes. All of it. If you didn't write it, you have to cite it. So the good news with these databases is they give you that citation tool right there. So that is our opposing viewpoints database. That is very, very helpful. I want to show you one last database, and it's going to be under the letter U for US News Stream. Now, US News Stream is a great source in that it pulls together local and national newspapers. I'm sure that at some point in your life you have bumped into a paywall when trying to read a news article. Maybe you ran out of your 4 free articles for the month in the New York Times or whatever it is, and they say, you know, give us $2.99 and we'll let you in. Don't give them $2.99. Just come to this database. We subscribe to all of these different newspapers, so you definitely have access to it. You don't need to, you know, give anybody any bonus money. It's all here in the database. So let's go ahead. I'm going to do, again, a really basic search. I'm going to type in growth mindset. And I'm going to put growth mindset in quotation marks. And that means that the database is going to look for those two words together, as opposed to looking for growth and mindset. Because growth and mindset are two pretty common words, right? And I'm really interested in finding that phrase together. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. You can see I can search in lots of different ways. I can search in the abstract, I can search the author, document title. I can even search various publications. So if I wanted to see growth mindset only in, you know, a certain publication, I only want to see it down here in the Los Angeles Times, I would just search growth mindset and publication Los Angeles Times and see what happens. So it gives me 4 articles, right? Which, you know, that's not a lot, so you might want to step away from looking in just a specific newspaper, but I did want to show you how to do it. But let's say, hey, this is a really good article. I want to take a look at this one right here. Okay, 2018, good deal. I'm going to click on that. So I have in front of me, I have an abstract up here at the top. I have my full text down here as well, where it highlights my keywords. It also gives me related items over here. And you know, sometimes that can be a little scary, like, oh, it's looking at what I'm doing. But in this case, they're actually really helpful. Do take a look at the related items. Our helpful little sidebar is up here as well, where we can save it as a PDF, email it, print it, and of course, cite it. So bad news on this one. This database, for all of its glory and wonder, has not updated its citation formats in a while. So you can see that it's currently working with MLA 7th edition, and you guys are working with MLA 8th edition. So you're really going to want to take this. The information is here, but you're going to want to check it against the examples that you've seen and the things that your instructor has given you to make sure it's correct. Okay, so now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go back to our library homepage. And that is our database tutorial. I know it seems like a lot, and I want to show you a quick trick. Under Research Help here, if you click Guides by Subject, you scroll down to English and Literature here. English 101 Nonfiction Resources, because you guys are writing about nonfiction. Here is the guide that we have created specifically for your class. where we talk about all of the things that we just went over. Now, the nice thing about this is, of course, that it's a video, so you can go ahead and rewind it, pause it, get it to wherever you need it to be. But this guide is sort of a quick way of touching on everything that we've looked at, right? We have our encyclopedias. Here's our Gale Virtual Reference Library, our Moss Ultra. Those are our databases complete with examples here. The news and media, opposing viewpoints in context, and U.S. news stream. Here's help evaluating your sources. This is what we looked at earlier with the CRAP test. And citation help. Remember how I said that before that we were going to talk a little bit about where to find citation help online? Here it is. MLA right here in front of you. Quick little PowerPoint here to kind of help you walk through it. We also have some handouts available. So this handout is available in the library as well, but if you don't want to come into the library, here you go. Videos that we've created to walk you through, as well as some other handouts and links. So what you are going to do now is go forth and rock your paper. I know you will. If you need any help, please do not hesitate to contact us. Call us, email us, text us, open up a live chat, Facebook, Instagram, whatever is easiest for you. You can make an appointment with a librarian. We can do that either in person or virtually, whichever is more convenient for you. But please, please, please reach out. We are here to help. And while this may be the first paper you've written on this topic and for English 101, I assure you it's not the first paper I've assisted on. So I have some tips and tricks if you need anything. Once again, my name is Elizabeth Cook. I'm the Instructional Design Librarian, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please don't hesitate to contact us with any questions. Good luck!